We talked about grooves yesterday a bit. We talked about volume. Many of you watching this video are probably not playing in front of 5,000 and 10,000 seater auditoriums. You're in a church where the acoustics are not very dead. So you're faced with a difficult situation. Everything's probably pretty tight on stage, and you maybe have a mixed audience of grandmothers and grandfathers and young people. So who are you going to play to? A lot of drummers just have a problem backing off on volume because they think they're going to lose the groove. But we talked about this a little bit in the general session, but just what is your, we're in different venues all the time.
That's right.
Yeah, we play in large venues, but there's a lot of times we find ourselves in a little church. So we gotta readjust the way we think about a song, but it doesn't, because you play softer does not mean that you're gonna lose the feel or the groove of a song. So talk about that a little bit. What are your options?
I think just like a piano has knobs that you can tune, or a guitar player has different settings that they like. As a drummer, you kind of have to have different settings. Like when we're in a outdoor venue and it's, we can all play full volume, and that's great. I kind of have that setting, and I know that's going to mean I can hit each drum. I can do rim shots on the snare. I can get the full sound out of the kit that I would normally like to get. But if we're in an echoey church or some kind of gymnasium or something, I'm going to have to adjust. I know what kind of setting to notch myself at, and that might mean sticks, but maybe not rim shots and full hits, or maybe it's not hitting the edge of the cymbal, maybe it's crashing with just the tip of the stick. But it's like you kind of have these notches in your mind of how to adjust your approach. And then if it's, if it keeps, you need to keep scaling back because of volume issues, you're going to maybe want to switch to brushes or something. Whatever it takes to accommodate the situation. So,
for instance, we were messing around with He Never Sleeps, He Never Slumbers, which is, I love that groove when it pops, when you're playing full stick. Just try that once.
Okay.
Just count it off. Let's play a little bit of that, and then we'll, back it down to, this is the way we play if there are 10,000 people out there, okay? 1, 2, 3. When we are weak, He becomes strong. Cast all of your care on Him. All right, now the crowd just went down to 200 people.
All right. Okay.
What are you going to do?
Let's try that. So I would back it down to sticks a little lighter.
Count it. Never tires of hearing a prayer. When we are weak, He becomes strong. Cast all of your cares on Him. All right, now the crowd is down to 100, and it's a senior citizens Christmas banquet. What are you going to do?
Okay, I would. There's a lot of different ways you could mix this up, but they have rods and brushes and all kinds of stuff. So maybe it means throwing a towel on the snare drum. But
kick it off for the senior citizens.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3.
He never sleeps. Never tires of hearing a prayer. When we are weak, He becomes strong. So rest in His love. Cast all of your care on Him. Okay, and the senior citizens love that. And now we're in a home group, in your cell group meeting.
That's right.
With 10 people.
Okay.
In the living room.
Okay.
Now what are you going to do?
You can really start to get creative now. Maybe play the couch or something. But
see, the groove is still there. We didn't lose a groove, did we? I don't think we did. I mean, the groove still felt good.
Yeah.
It was still inspiring me. But there's a way to do this. So now we're at your home group meeting. In your living room.
Right. So you kind of get creative and maybe think a little bit more percussive, think a little bit more like a percussion
You probably wouldn't have
player.
the whole drum set set up, would you?
Yeah. There's, sometimes it's just time to scale back and get
snare?
a cajon or a conga or something.
Snare, bass, and hi-hat, that's it, maybe? Something
Sure.
like
I've done all those in live clubs or venues, churches, and just having to be creative and flexible.
Okay, kick it off for your home group.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Never tires of hearing a prayer. When we are weak, oh, he becomes strong. So rest, cast all of your care on him. Do verse 2. Verse 2. That feels really good. You cannot see. Our God is able. He is mighty. He is faithful. Never sleeps. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it still has a great groove to it. I don't think we lost anything in the intensity, but it's a lot of fun.
Right.
And really, if we were in that small of a setting, you wouldn't have your toms. You'd probably have snare, bass, and a hi-hat, probably.
That's right.
And one cymbal, maybe.
Yep. And the groove is always essential. So whether you're playing full volume or having to tone it down like that, if you've worked on your kind of precision and accuracy in your groove, your timing, metronome work, all that stuff can help you whatever setting you're in.
Yeah, because it can, if you just jump to that, I imagine it can be a little bit disconcerting to you, like, wait a minute, they're asking me to play with brushes, and if you haven't practiced that way, it'll make you feel like I'm not laying down a good enough groove.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right.
So
you
actually
do have to
practice,
be prepared and
so you actually practice that way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that practice has just come from having just been thrown into that situation. But it definitely helps to go over all scenarios if you can.
And you've played professionally. You played pop. You've been on tour with pop bands and as well. And just because you're with a pop band doesn't mean that you're going to be in huge venues playing loud all the time. Right.
No, even on big tours, sometimes you'll get thrown into a smaller venue where you have to get creative. I remember one time I had to play a floor tom case as my bass drum instead of a bass drum. So you just have to be flexible and go with the flow and realize it's not about you getting the way my preference would be to be in a studio getting to hit as hard as I want because I love the way the drums sound when they're full volume, but you have to serve the singer and the band that you're playing with and the situation, the audience or congregation.
Yeah.